How is life in Dubai?
Well, I live in Sharjah,
Okay.
which is like maybe if there is no traffic, you will be like 20 minutes from Dubai. But with the traffic, it could take 1 hour.
Okay.
There is. Have you been in United Arab Emirates? No, never?
No, no, I've never been, but my brother-in-law is from there, and he speaks highly of the UAE, and he talks about how there's all this infrastructure that's happening there, and they have this 2040 vision of doubling their population, doubling their economy. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about that, and then we could
Sure.
definitely jump into mathematics. But I wanted to ask you, what is going on there?
Yeah, definitely. I can tell you briefly. Like I came here in 2003. In fact, I asked for on leave from my university. I did not resign. And then I, c- uh, I came here 2003. Now we are 2025. So the 2 years now
Wow.
became like 22 years in United Arab Emirates. Yeah, this is a place I love to live in. There's no secret about it. uh, United Arab Emirates uh, give a chance for everybody to, show their talent and contribute to the country. I call it for me, and I mean that it's an ideal place to live. And, like Dubai, it become like, I think, like a mark on the map. In fact, sometime when you say United Arab Emirates, but when you say Dubai, then wow, you are from Dubai. You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean because people assume that I'm Iranian or Persian or somewhere from the Middle East. And, they go, wow, you must have a lot of money. And I go, you want to see my bank account?
Yeah, I know this is one of these stereotype. They
Yeah.
think, we are here and we just, collecting, money and yeah, I mean, there is a lot of money in this country, but I can tell you one thing about this country. I think that they spend the money in the country. I mean, they are not like, like, uh, I mean, the locals, maybe a million. United Arab Emirates, 10 million. So we're talking about the money they spend, they get benefit from it. And we, the foreigner, if I use the term foreigner, also we get benefit from it. So I think they work very hard uh, spending the money in the right place, and they make their country like uh, something out of their of their wealth.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean, and you're talking about the how they invest a lot of infrastructure. They're investing in these uh, AI and technology and eco-friendly cities in Dubai. And again, like this 2040 vision they have for Dubai or the UAE. Let me ask you this, Professor. How did you get into mathematics? And I ask you that question because math is such an intimidating field for so many people, including myself. You know, I always thought I was good in math because my fifth grade teacher told me, "Hey, you were really good in math," and I would raise my hand to answer every single question until it got harder and harder, and equations got tougher and tougher, and I just maybe stopped applying myself after some point. And so let me ask you, how did you get into mathematics?
Okay, here is the thing, Amir. I
Mm,
have to be honest with you. Also, this is another stereotype. Like they think math is hard. I don't know what you mean with hard. For me, I believe whether you are interested in the subject or not, like what you do and your ability to make your show and talk. and these things. This is also kind of not easy. Maybe I cannot do it. So I do believe that there is something hard. I believe whether you are interested in the subject or not. And thanks God, we all have different interests. Because imagine everyone is a mathematician. Life will be boring. And, or, so there is some stereotype that they think mathematician, we are the smartest or I don't believe in that. I believe that each human has, uh, you know, something to give in their life. It could be math, could be physics, could be, TV, or an actor or an artist. We are people with different talent and different interests. So I grew up loving math. I don't know. Don't ask me why. I just love it. It's just like you walk into a store. Maybe your friend tell you this is don't get it. This is really bad, but you love it. You see something in it.
Yeah.
So it's not the language. It's just you cannot explain really. I just love it. I love the beauty, the because there is no absolute in the real life, only absolute in pure mathematics. And this is one thing attract me, even though I am not perfect, and definitely I'm not perfect, but perfection, I found it in mathematics. So for me, like sometimes when they tell me these things, like, oh, mathematician, they are a genius, I just laugh because we only just like anybody else, I think, but we have different talent. For me, I always see these people like, I see some people with bicycle walk on a rope. You see, like these gay, in Olympic,
Yeah.
yeah, a bicycle and walk on a rope. I said, "Oh gosh, this is amazing."
Yeah.
I cannot do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I believe, a human, each one somehow we have different talent. Uh, Maybe society do not look at it this way. I don't know. I'm not the person to correct that, but I don't see myself. I am better than you, or I am more genius or smarter than you. No, I don't look at it this way.
when did you realize you were really good at math?
Well, since I was maybe in the maybe early age, maybe 6 or 7 years, and I know I love this. And I think this is also my teacher contribute to that. Uh, I grew up in a small village, very small village, like everybody knows everybody. Uh, and I still remember him, my math teacher, his name Zakaria. I still till now remember him. And he teach math like, wow, like even, you know. So I think this is also another factor that let me go to mathematics.
Yes, some teachers have that ability where they could really connect with their students and and teach things in a way that's very interactive. Like I'm a visual learner. Like I can't just read a book and, learn how to do equations. I need someone to teach me and tell me how to do, this is how to look at things. Maybe this is the way to, okay. And then, so from that point on, you knew that you wanted to be a mathematician because of this teacher, Zakari, who had an influence on you.
Yeah, his name in Arabic, we call him Zakaria. but
not
maybe in
Korean.
English I mean, Zakara or whatever.
The car, yes, yeah. English is a weird and but interesting language. Like we're in America is the only place where we say aluminum. Everywhere else in the world, it's aluminium. So
Oh,
we
I
like
gotta tell you,
we,
let me tell you a joke then.
go ahead.
What do you call somebody speak three languages?
I don't know. What do you call them?
You guess.
Um,
Trilinguist?
I guess yeah, trilinguist,
Yeah. What do you call somebody speak two languages?
bilinguist,
Okay. What do you call somebody speak one language?
someone who just speaks one language.
No, American.
That's a good one. I like that. I'm gonna use it.
It's a
So,
joke.
yeah, yeah, no, that's good. I like jokes. I'm actually working on a script right now for to do stand up because I really enjoy comedy. I think it's a great way to for people to be together and laugh and ease the tension. I feel like we live in a world where there's always something going on and it's
Mhm.
always blown out of proportion. And I think comics do such a great job of reminding everybody it ain't that serious. Just take it easy. So
And I think
I'm doing,
these days we need it more than before.
why
Because
do you say that?
excuse my language. I mean, everywhere is fucked up, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. It, it is tough all around the world. Especially I think if I know if you're alluding to what I think you're alluding to, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but especially in the Middle East, what's happening is it's tough
Yes.
and it's
And
very
everyone,
sad.
and Russia and Ukraine and
Ukraine, yeah,
everywhere, and the changes, and I don't know, man.
yeah,
But I mean, the world is changing, uh, and changing does not mean, always bad. But we are living in a time, I don't know, like you don't expect how tomorrow is going to look like.
yeah. And I think that's the constant state of fear that like people live in, and I try to remind myself of that, like you know, like live your day for that day and like don't try to worry about don't get too caught up in what's going to happen tomorrow. But I think everybody is guilty of it. We all fall for it all the time.
Well, here's the thing, Amir. I think I try to do that, but it's very hard.
It is hard.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I can tell you, I went through very hard time in the last 2 years, maybe 1 year and a half, seeing all these, killing and regardless, I mean, killing is killing, and innocent people die and, for things they have not done. And I always, even though, and what is really painful, you cannot do anything about it. I
Yeah.
think as a human, you don't have to be like I'm a Palestinian, by the way. You don't have to be a Palestinian to feel bad or to feel some humanity to what's going on. It is, you know, you cannot talk about it anymore. And what's really painful that innocent people like you and me who's paying the price. That's what's painful.
Can I ask you, what do you mean by that? Like, how are we paying the price?
Because all these, like the killing, like what's going on in Gaza, who is dying? Who?
It's women and children. Over a
Huh?
hundred thousand of them.
Okay. What did they do?
Nothing but just want to live their life.
So who is paying the price?
Yeah,
I mean, the politician or whatever, and we always, the human, I mean, the normal human like you and me, we pay the price. And, and even the same thing in, I mean, I just mentioned Gaza. Maybe it's the same thing in Russia and Ukraine
Ukraine.
and everything. I mean, like uh, for me, and I try hard to differentiate between the politics of the country and people. So I treat, when I deal with you on the personal level.
Yeah,
I really don't give a damn where you're from or what's your religion or, on the personal level. But
yeah,
unfortunately, what I discover, this is not the case in, like you are Palestinian. Oh, that mean or Palestinian like terrorist or, you know, or you are whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like stereotypes of like where you're from.
Stereotype. Yes.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah. So I always feel bad for these innocent people who just, you know, and really it affected me badly in the last 1 year and a half. Uh, just seeing all these innocent people dying, and many of them are, like you hear stories like about artists or writers, or they have future, and all this just disappear. It could be
yeah,
me or you. You
yeah.
know, we are just maybe lucky we are not there.
Right. I feel very fortunate in many aspects because of the people I have in my life. And one of the people I have in my life really educated me about and informed me about this particular issue, not just what's happened in the past 5 years, but what's been happening for years. There are decades there. And because this person I'm talking about was a huge activist, and he would lobby against Wall Street, and he would lobby against protest against war. And so, he's told me for years what's happening there. And so I was informed from a long time ago that the blockade that's been in Palestine for a long time, that, he's told me, Amir, in so many aspects, they're not even allowed to have chocolate there because chocolate makes people happy. But there's all these blockades from them not even getting chocolate. Um, there's curfews, and it's almost like a prison cell, and so I've known about this for a very long time, and I think it's just becoming, and people are just becoming aware of this issue now because of social media. um but I really blame the people. I blame the most is the politicians. I blame
Oh,
them. This is all
definitely.
this is their fault. Like, where
Yeah.
are all um the um the diplomats? Where are you? You're supposed to be diplomatic. And if you're diplomatic, that means no war and no killing. It's supposed to be You're supposed to converse with each other. And why are you not conversing? And I think it goes back to the stereotype and how much hate they have there.
Yeah,
And
and
there's a
and
few other people I
sometimes
blame.
and sometimes
Mm.
people may, like, misunderstand you. They tell you, oh, you are pro Hamas, Tell you, I mean, what Hamas? What Hamas has to do with that? I mean, all the million who went on the street in Europe or in other countries, they are pro Hamas or pro human,
Yeah,
you know? I mean, the politician, they try to misuse why people protest on the street, why they saying this is wrong. They tell you you are, they give you label, In fact, I have Jewish friend. I do. And
same
they
here.
share. Yeah. So I,
Yeah,
I always tell them, I mean, the story is not Hamas and being Jewish is a religion that I respect, like Christian, like Muslim, like any other religion. We're talking about humanity. But the humans are dying and dying and dying and dying. For how long? I mean, they always go back whose fault? Well, I think we passed this whose fault.
Yeah.
Let's not
Yeah.
talk about it. Anyway, uh,
Yeah. Like, how do we come to a resolution where we could just live peacefully, you know? Like,
you know, Amir, I'm gonna tell you a story. Really, this has happened in my house, and this is make me happy. I have a daughter. She is now 20 years old. One time we were talking about what's going on. She grew up in this country. She maybe visited Palestine twice or three times. And she told me something. Maybe she said it, like randomly, but I still think about it. She said, I mean, why we are paying the price? Why don't they go and fight with each other, the politician? I said, wow, that's very deep coming from an 18, 19 years old young woman. She realized that early on that politician cause problem, not the human, the normal human. Uh, you know what I mean? And that made me happy. She said, well, why we are paying the price? Well, why they just go and fight with each other? We don't want to fight.
yeah. But politics is such a weird and weird, I say game. And I do see a world where we do need politicians because we need to have a civilized society and they contribute in good ways, but also in bad ways as well. Because if you look at the lobbyists behind politicians, um, it's all these corporations with agendas. And I think about how do you get money out of politics? And there's a very smart man in America named Scott Galloway who talks about politicians, and he says the solution to getting money out of politics is just give them a lot of money, pay them, you know, pay them $300,000 a year so they could stop taking money from lobbyists, corporations, and people with interest, and they could serve the people in their community. And that really made sense to me. Like, okay, just give them more money so they could stop being corrupt, because so much of it comes down to corruption and taking money. Like even the where I live, for example, I live in New Jersey. We just prosecuted the senator of New Jersey, Bob Menendez, for being in cahoots with the Egyptian government. He was
Oh, I
taking
heard
money from
about
the
that.
he was
I
taking
heard
money from the
about that.
and then
That
his
was
first
like
response was
yeah, one
his
month
first was
ago or
yeah,
more.
his first it was a little more than that, but it was like
Yeah.
his first response was it was my wife's fault. So so I was so so I was laughing about it with my wife. I was like, if I ever get in trouble, I'm just gonna say it was you. It was your fault. But
Yeah,
then there's
that's
also
funny.
the beautiful part about politics as well. So another good example I can give you is I live in New Jersey, and the mayor of New Jersey is Jewish, and he is a wonderful man, and he works with and some of his people he has in his office are Palestinians, and they over the years they've worked together to make Jersey City a great place for people. You're seeing people
Where?
from California, New York, everybody coming here, and because they've made this place a safe, secure, and a place for to prosper and live in New Jersey. So they do play an important role, and they can create an environment when people can live together happily.
Why not? In fact, I don't see why we're talking about that even. I mean, for me, because even if you are Muslim or a Christian or Jewish, these are religion, right? We cannot deny it. I mean,
Sure. Right.
does not mean I am Palestinian. That mean I hate Jewish, and it should not be the other way around.
Right. Right.
If he is,
Yeah.
uh, Jewish, being Jewish, like being Christian, being Muslim. I have no problem with that. So what?
Yeah.
We're talking about different story. You know, Zionists and people who don't believe in Palestinian right to exist, and or I even, you know, even though we Palestinian, we agree to have like two state, and this is still, you know,
Yeah, it's been going on for 30 years about
forever. And yeah, I'm
a,
not sure if
a
I'm gonna
Tuesday.
see it in my lifetime even.
You know, I am optimistic. I like to always believe the glass is half full, and I hope we do come to a place where there is peace and prosperity. And
Oh, I
yeah,
hope that too. I hope that too, because I think, uh, I mean, you know, uh, something I learned. I am interested in human and how they think, and I get to the point. I don't care whether you are Muslim or a Christian or whatever. In general, a human, they want peace. They want to have decent life, and I don't think, uh, you know, we grow up with the to hate each other. I don't
yeah,
think so. I don't think so, unless you have the wrong education. Like, you know, anyway, uh, I hope so. I mean, you know, oh, that will be wonderful if we
yeah,
can end up. I mean, imagine, really imagine with me, Amir, this. Sometimes they think I'm crazy. When I think about it this way, what I'm gonna tell you, maybe it's common sense, maybe nothing new. Imagine all this money they spent on war and the cost of war, and make a number. What do you think the number is? Like,
oh my
has
God.
to be a big number.
It's got to be in the trillions of dollars. For example,
Okay.
I know we spent like $7 trillion, just America alone in the Iran and Afghanistan war in early 2000s. It was like $7 trillion. So I'm gonna say $50 trillion is what we spent,
Okay,
maybe even more.
imagine, maybe in theory it's easy, but in practice it's difficult. And I mean exactly what I'm telling you. Imagine if we spend this money helping other who are less fortunate. I know not everybody's gonna driving Mercedes and you know what I mean, and
Yeah,
have a big house, but at least I think there will be, all of us can have decent life
yeah,
if we spend this money in the right places instead on, you know, killing each other.
yeah,
And many times we killing each other for wrong reason, or for reason I believe that neither I nor yourself responsible for it. I mean, like, you grow up in America, right? And you are an American. What did you do? You just find yourself live in America, right? I
yeah,
am Palestinian. What did I do? Well, I just find myself Palestinian. You are white or you are black. I mean, these things, like we grow up with it. Like, I am Muslim. Maybe you are a Christian or Muslim or whatever. I grew up with this religion, you know?
yeah.
So I don't know. We end up killing each other for wrong reason. And uh, but as a
It,
human, I always believe in fitting. But I don't believe that I am better than Amir or Amir is better than me. What do I mean with fitting? Like, I can fit with certain group of people because we have the same, you know, like, you know, ideas. We have, you know, similar. But Amir has his own group. That does not mean Amir is bad. He, you know, does not mean I have to. You get my point.
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
So
It's
so
always interesting. People ask me, which this is another reason why when people ask me like, oh, where am I from? I, I say I'm from America because, or New Jersey. And then they ask me, oh no, what is your ethnicity? and then I say, oh, my both my parents are from Pakistan. And then, so I and so I don't when they ask me where I'm from, I don't like going right to Pakistan because I feel like they then try to associate Islam, and I'm not sure like sometimes what, if they're Islamophobic, um, and also I'm just not religious. Like I'm not a religious person. I respect religion. I think you and I were talking about this. Um, uh, but I fall in the camp of being agnostic. Um, and
I
I,
think, yeah.
yeah. I was just gonna say, I was just gonna add that, I sometimes do get a little scared about religion because I feel like people use religion for wrong reasons, like go to war. And this is proven in history. If you look back at the history books, people use religion to go to war all the time. And that is, and I just ask myself, like, where does it say in religion that, you could use God to go kill people, kill innocent people? I don't think it says that anywhere in religion. So
No,
like where?
in fact, all religion, it's about teaching how to love each other and how to take care of your, other human. But
Yeah.
some people misuse that. And I mean, I grew up with Islamic education and I know about Islam. Uh, and what I noticed, the book is beautiful when you read it. The book, there is nothing till you go and kill others. Uh, the problem with the practice, of course, not in general, uh, but I see like people, Muslim, okay, but you look at them, you know, I don't know, man. Uh, but I think we all agree that our religion teaches love and caring for each other and doing good for for this planet. In fact, for me, I mean, as Ayman Badawi, I don't believe in borders, but this is maybe far. Now we're gonna go. I believe that these are also artificial borders and things like that, and I do believe in that strongly. Being Ayman Badawi, I don't know how many share that with me. I believe we are a human, and just you born in America, I born in Palestine.
Mhm.
I mean, these things, none of us has, you know, we
When
did
you say
not
you don't believe
control
in,
it.
when you say, yeah, right, you're not right. You're not controlled in what environment, you're brought up. You're not really controlled in what religion you're raised in. You're not control of, the color of skin you may be. Okay, so when you say you don't believe in borders, can you expand on that? What do you mean? Do you like if you're saying if you're born in Malaysia or you're born in Afghanistan, you should just be able to kind of travel all over the world without any restrictions? Is that what you're saying?
Well, here is what I'm saying. Now, maybe we need it because we already classify, and I mean, we cannot eliminate this stereotype. When you hear somebody from Afghanistan or Islamic country, the stereotype, come out. And but I'm saying in an ideal world, no, we don't need borders. What you need borders for? Uh, I think, and I believe maybe not in my lifetime, in the future, uh, these things will be eliminated, borders and the life we know now, it will be completely different. That's the way I see it. Maybe not in my lifetime.
Mm,
Uh, I mean, I understand we need. Maybe I went to be very extreme on that
hmm
because you're gonna tell me, well, they are bad people and they are good people, and well, but let's think about it this way. Not all the American are good people. but they are American and not, I mean, you have a crime in your country
Yeah.
and you have good people. And the same thing in any other country, you have good and bad. And if you look at it on the scale of a planet, it's the same thing. They are good people and bad people.
Yeah.
But this is
So
too late.
I am not in that camp of where you are with the open borders. I think borders are there for a reason. It's to protect society from bad people or good people. Um,
But bad people
because we need
exist.
structure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Eh,
but if you think about it, in any country, just name it.
Um,
Just name any country. They are good people and
yeah.
bad people, right?
Yeah. Eh,
Within the same country.
mhm,
So look at it on the bigger scale, planet Earth.
mhm.
They are good people and they are bad people.
Yeah. I, yeah.
You see my
I,
point?
I see your point. I think the issue is that there is we need a better process of letting people into countries in general. Like that process is so slow. And I think maybe we create some sort of global card, global visa where, they know who you are, they know your background, and if you want to travel from, let's say, China to Moscow and Moscow to the US, you have this global passport that shows that you are an able-bodied person that isn't doing bad things and isn't a bad person, because a bad person probably wants their identity to be hidden and they want to be under the radar. If you're a good person, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go through the proper procedure. Uh,
Because
so I
Amir,
think we
I
need
think
something like that.
I'm not saying. Listen, I think I'm now the way our um, the word is a structure. I mean, I'm not going to change it, and I agree with you. I
Hmm.
mean, borders are there, countries are there. I just told you
Hmm.
in an
Yeah.
ideal world, I don't
Yeah.
think this is really needed. And the things you uh, mention about that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, everybody need to because the way how it is now, yes, uh, but the definition of bad and good, it depends on. I don't know what. I mean, uh, listen, this is a big story.
Yeah, yeah, it is it's over our heads. It's very complex.
It's over, very complex. Yeah.
I think what people need to do more of is travel the world. And I feel very fortunate and blessed in a lot of ways because I was born and raised here for 5 years. And then my father said, okay, pack your bags. You're going to Pakistan because I want you to learn the language. I want you to learn the customs. I want you to see the people. And it gave me a totally different perspective of the world. I've had this perspective of what it was like being an American kid and then what it was like being in Pakistan and and seeing two different worlds. And it gave me what I've learned the most is it made me a more tolerable person. It gave me more patience because I saw kids my age working at stores, helping their parents out while I was going to school there. In restaurants, giving say as um, tea boys. That's what they call it. They were called tea boys. They would go and they would offer you tea and stuff like that, and and it really gave me a lot of tolerance because I saw poverty, extreme poverty from such a young age. And I think if more people got to see that, they would be more tolerable and say, let's make the world a better place rather than, okay, how do we just, you know, drive a Mercedes and live a big mansion? And
Uh-huh. That's exact. But here's Amir. Imagine, just focus with me for a minute.
yeah,
You mentioned about Pakistan
yeah,
and how people live is different from maybe the life of people in USA.
yeah,
If I imagine if we remove borders, you still have these kids you saw in Pakistan, you're going to see the same picture again, and you're going to see the same tradition and the same custom and the same good people and the same bad people. Uh, I can't give you an example. I try to explain what I'm trying to tell you. I live here in a complex.
hmm
It's a B block. Do you know that I don't know the names of my neighbors? Just say hi, hello, how are you? Some of them British, some of them Arab, some of them Indian. And I see in the during the Indian, they celebrate, their Indian things. The British, if they
Diwali,
have some,
yeah,
yeah,
hmm
and things. And here we live together. You know what I mean? They have they still live like they are in India, but we live
yeah,
in a big complex.
yeah,
We are all neighbors.
yeah.
I don't go and tell them what you're doing is bad or good or you see my point?
hmm It's
So,
like no
so
matter where you are, you're going to create your own little environment.
exactly, that's
Yeah,
what I was telling you at the beginning, fitting.
yeah,
Because not
yeah,
everybody like Ayman Badawi, and this is nothing wrong with that. Because Ayman Badawi has his own ideas, his own. Maybe there will be some people who think like him, but Amir does not think like me, does not mean I hate Amir.
right.
You
Yeah,
see my point?
yeah.
Of course,
But you,
as
Professor,
long as,
Do you, but do you believe that there are people who don't like you because you don't think like them?
well, I think I'm very sure there should be. Otherwise,
Yeah.
that will be scary, isn't
Right,
it?
right. Yeah, yeah.
That will be unhuman that
Yeah.
everybody likes Ayman Badawi. That's really very scary. I mean, I hope there was some people who don't like me, and because this is the normal thing,
Right. Yeah.
And the same thing I think to you. I mean, and everybody, there were always some people who like you and they fit with within your group, and some people who just want to be away from you. But the dangerous is when I start like I don't like Amir, so I start doing things that will affect Amir. You know
Like
what I mean?
you're trying to intentionally hurt someone, right?
Yes, this is very dangerous
Yeah.
because he is different from me. That does not mean different is bad. For me, in fact, for me, being different sometimes is more attractive
Yeah. Yeah. You
because you
bring a
don't want
different perspective, you bring a different
exactly,
opinion, different perspective to the conversation. Yeah.
exactly. Because I can't tell you my story when I left my village when I was 18 years old and I went to America. And I don't know, man, I have this feeling. I want to know. I always wonder about, like why I am Ayman Badawi the way I am. So I was trying hard, very hard, to understand other human being. So like, I used to go try to meet like Greek or Italian or uh, I don't want to, I mean, not because I hate Arab. Well, I am an Arab. If I go there and I live, with Arabs, so what did I learn?
Right, right.
You see what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
see many Arab, they go there and they just stay with the Arab, you know. So why are you leaving your country then?
It goes back to what we were saying, like fitting. Like you want to fit within, like you traveled from across the world to come here, and then now you've just pretty much contorted that same reality you had over there here. Professor, I've always struggled with that too. Like I never understood why people come from all over the world, let's say from not just to America, but let's say from America, they go from America to somewhere else and then they just want to be American. It's like
Yeah, the
what if
beauty is to try, you know.
new things,
So I
try
was
meet new people.
so I was trying very hard, and I think people who know me and listen to me, if they listen, they know that I initiate and I try to, talk to them, and I enter. And by the way, what's funny, also they are doing the same thing, like the Greek. The Greek, they stay with the Greek. The
Yeah,
Italian stay with the Italian, you
yeah,
know? And I sometimes I feel I am the one who trying to like enter here and enter here. And I was not always welcome, but I don't give
right.
up. I keep
Yeah,
trying,
yeah. The
because I want
black
to
sheep. Yeah, the black sheep of the family.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is for me, give me pleasure. Like I want to see how these people think, what they do, and anyway, I think I succeeded in many of these, but sometimes I feel like I force myself on them.
In so many ways, I am just like you, where I've tried to enter new communities, engage in with other new people that don't look like me, that don't talk like me, that don't sound like me, that don't think like me. So, and I like that because similar to you, I want to know how they think and
Yeah,
why is it the way they think the way they think. That's just something that's always been fascinating to me.
yeah, for me too, because life is for me it's a journey, and it's nice to know from. I mean, here and there, and like maybe something now surprise you. I mean, my American friend, and I mean a real friend, the one who knows me well. Uh, I have something like I don't like competition.
I
And
love
when I said,
competition.
yeah, I know.
I
When I
love
said that,
competition.
when I said that to my American friend, they said, "Wow, but this is what America. I mean, one of the core on,
Yeah.
But I tell them not competition in the way you doing it. I mean, for me, maybe like I do my best, but does not mean I have to win. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing something with you, Amir, and I try, but not on the basis that I have to win. We're just doing things. And I try my best, you try your best, and you won. I don't call this competition. I call it we are doing the same thing, and you are better than me. That's how I think of it. I
Yeah.
always tell them, look at these, huh? These are five fingers, not all the same. And we have to admit that. I always think I am good in math, but there are some people who are better than me in mathematics, definitely. And so that does not bother me at all because for me, life is you do what you do and you try your best in it. How this will lead you, just leave it there. But I'm not doing it just to compete with Amir. No,
Mm.
the way I think of things, like when I do mathematics or when I just do because I love it, but not because I want to be better than Amir. There is a big difference for me between, like, I give you another simple one, like the competition that I don't like, which I call it not uh, healthy competition. You see a small restaurant open in an area somewhere, small like business. And then one month you see big McDonald just, you know, they have one in front of this guy. I mean, McDonald, you don't need money. Why you want to kill this guy? Let him live. Give him a chance. You know what I mean? This
Professor,
is I don't
yeah,
call it
that's
competition.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, Professor, but do you think competition leads a person to always chasing something bigger and bigger where they're never satisfied? I- is that
No, sometimes competition means I just want to break your arm, not in a healthy way. Like as I told you, think of the example I told you. Ayman Badawi is like, I just have a small restaurant in this compound.
Mhm,
Okay? I have some burger and fries and then one week I see McDonald
mhm,
is opening beside me.
mhm.
I mean, most likely people will go to McDonald.
I mean,
The
it
way,
depends. If your burgers are
uh,
that
I
damn
mean,
good, I mean, I don't know. You might push
I,
McDonald's out of.
well, I mean, this is F, right? What I'm trying, we should give each other a chance to grow. I mean, maybe, as I told you, maybe I have different views of things. So I call this. I mean, McDonald decided to have the store when I decided to have mine. I mean, McDonald was not there, and you're
Yeah.
already making money. So just give me a chance. You get my point?
I'm having a hard time understanding your point, to be honest, because I feel like competition drives innovation.
Oh,
Um,
definitely, but healthy one.
yes, a healthy innovation.
Mhm.
And I think ultimately it leads to healthy innovation, no matter you like it or you don't. I just feel like McDonald's, if you think about McDonald's, they used to be just a mom and pop shop at one point. They had to start somewhere,
I
and now
agree.
they're a multi-billion dollar corporation.
Well,
But they had to
that,
start somewhere.
well, that's my point to you. I will repeat again. Amir, he just make does not make that much money. He decided in this compound where I live to have some small restaurant.
Hmm.
And there was no McDonald there. But then when McDonald found out about Amir is having, oh, well, I'm gonna go and have McDonald in front of Amir.
Yeah,
So I can kill his business.
yeah,
This is, I call it bad competition.
yeah. That's what I would call crony capitalism, where you're
I don't
purposely
know
destroying.
what you want to call it, but I explain it using street language, Ayman language. I don't believe in that. I think we should give a chance for others also to survive and to have something to live on. And the reason, no, I mean, McDonald, as you mentioned, he does not need the money. Why you want to go and have your store in front of Amir?
Professor, you froze up on your end. So let me see what's going on here.
Maybe they
You're.
didn't like, maybe they didn't like
Oh,
what
there
I
you go.
talk.
There you there you go. You're back. You're back. Okay. But you froze there for a second. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe McDonald's is listening and they're like, "Hey, this guy's ruined. He's no good for business."
No, 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 no. I hope they get my point.
Yeah. You know what? It. Speaking of fast food restaurant, the issue, I think people are catching up to it and realizing that the stuff they have in there is so bad for you. It's all processed stuff. Um, that maybe you do have a chance. I would think that if you had a restaurant, you definitely would have a chance because people would come to you because they would know that you source your ingredients naturally versus McDonald's. That's all just processed frozen crap. And McDonald's, their fries are really good though, Professor. Come on, have you
Oh,
tried their fries?
I love their fries. In fact, I eat McDonald's, I eat King, and I eat
Yeah.
Hardee's. I have no problem with these. I think it seems my point did not reach yet. What I'm saying, healthy competition is there are some competition that's healthy, and some competition are just not healthy. No, I'm not against McDonald's because
Hmm.
I think I repeat what I told you. McDonald has a lot of money. I
Hmm.
mean, you know, and I am trying to survive in this complex where I live. So, I mean, let me have my, you don't need to come and have your store in front of my thing. This is for me, as Ayman
Yeah.
Badawi, I call
Yeah.
it bad competition.
Okay. Maybe my competitive mindset is so different from yours because I grew up watching Kobe Bryant, who's been my idol. I don't know if you know, have you heard of Kobe Bryant by any chance? The famous
Yes, yes,
basketball
I
player?
watch. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
and
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 Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and
yeah, the captain, yeah,
these,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I grew up watching sports, and sports is a very competitive thing, and especially someone like a Kobe Bryant, who, when he wanted to come out and play, he just didn't want to win. He wanted to step over you. He wanted to kill you out there,
Well,
and
nothing wrong with
that,
that.
yeah, yeah,
This is a healthy competition
yeah, because it's a
because,
fair ground for you to compete. It's the
but
playing field is even.
okay, let me ask you, how many player you know like this guy?
Oh, there's hardly no one like him, but it's very few.
Let's
They're
stop
they're
here.
all they're one and one.
Let's stop here. That's the way he is. He is good because he is good. You know what I mean? He is doing his best. And the other also who are not as famous as him are good too, but they are not as good as he is. And what's wrong with that? As I told you, this is five fingers. All of them are useful, but there is one is bigger than all of them. And nothing wrong with that. I hope I get my point.
Maybe I'll get it
But I,
one
well, no, no.
one day down the line.
I, I no, no, the example you mentioned is a good one because you said, I don't know that many people like him
Yeah,
because he is damn good.
yeah.
I mean, and the others, don't you think maybe they try to be like him, but they are not, you know? So there is no competition there. He is damn good.
Yeah,
And the other, they are doing their best.
yeah.
I mean, don't you think the others they want to be like him or not? Yes, they want.
I think they do, but they don't see. This is where I think competition is good because you get to analyze, and I know you're not saying competition is bad. We're just talking about
No,
different
definitely
kinds.
not. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
yeah. I
Competition
know.
is healthy
Yeah,
competition.
yeah.
Like the best example is the one you mentioned about basketball. This is
Hmm.
healthy competition because I am playing, I am in
Hmm.
my team. We are five or six or seven, and I am the best one there. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah. And I think to answer your question, I think people did want to be like him, but I think no one wanted to do the work the way he did work. Like he would wake up at 3 a.m., get to the gym, drop his kids off to
Ah,
school, and then go back to the gym. And so there was just this grind and this effort that he continuously made to be where he was. But I wanted to
I
ask
agree,
you,
maybe I agree with you, but I know some people who wake up 2 a.m., not the 3 a.m. And but they are not as good as him. Just as we go back to the same question. You asked me first, why do you like mathematics? I
Yeah,
told you I grow up. I love it. I
yeah.
mean, I just love it. It's in me. Like sometime, like uh, just I grew up. I just love it.
Can I ask you, how do you like with technology evolving, with AI being such an integral part of the learning and development of younger kids, where do you see a role, not a, where do you see, but how do you see um, kids learning math nowadays versus 10 years ago, where now you could just take a picture of the equation and it'll spit
Uh-huh.
out not just the answer, but it'll give you the breakdown of it too. How do you see that affecting college kids, kids just learning math in general?
Okay, Amir. This is how I like the way I used to teach math 20 years is completely different from now because of the technology and AI and these things. Uh, uh, and I agree with you. Yeah. Now, uh, I think as for math, what's gonna survive concept ideas like in the old days, I used to give a question where they have to do all the calculation, even very explicit and very long calculation. And just for the sake of the calculation, because we don't have any other tools, right? So you have to do this calculation. There is no ideas or things, just a method. You do this, you do that, you do that, you do that, you come up with the outcome.
Hmm.
Now with the AI and the other software, we already know, we just put the equation, we get the outcome, the one you want, right?
Right.
So, but the machine does not tell you the process of thinking or what are the ideas there or what the heading
Hmm.
behind the answer. You get the answer, right? But the machine so far will not tell you how did you get it? What is the process of thinking? Uh, so the way I teach now, I emphasize on critical thinking. Like I give a question and I want to see the student how they think more than what is the answer. Because the answer is already khalas. This is done. We have
It's
machine. We have machine will do it.
for people who might not know what khalas means, that means finished, right?
Finished. Yes. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay. I have many Arabic friends and they've taught me a little bit of the language.
So as Ayman Badawi, this is how I change my style, and it's working, by the way. If I think now here where I teach, I
Hmm.
emphasize on critical thinking, concept, ideas. Just give me an idea. In fact, sometimes I tell the student, I want to see your answer. I don't even write down the outcome. Like they write, like, some calculation, the numbers, and then either you add them or you multiply them, you get the outcome. I tell them I don't need the outcome. Don't write it down. Just write down the numbers. I want to look at them because from there I can read the process of thinking,
Hmm.
you know, and this is how I think mathematics, the way I teach it now, using this method, using concept, critical thinking. I want to know how you think. You know what I
So
mean?
do you see a place in universities where phones and technology is completely removed from let's say, teaching, and now everything is being done by, let's say, a pen and paper? Or do you think there's a hybrid where technology is being used, or
Okay,
is
here
this
is let me. I mean, what level of mathematics? You took calculus or
yeah, yep, I took calculus, pre-calculus, and then calculus and calculus two.
okay, like calculus. Let's see, like you took integration by parts or integration by substitution.
Professor, don't ask me any of these things. I don't. This is
Okay,
this is loss in my brain. Okay.
okay, like okay. So I will tell you this. Like if I teach like integration by substitution, I'll do that and I show them where this method comes from and how the ideas and the concept behind it. But now when you move to like another course called differential equation, calculus, some of these integration become like a tool to solve a problem in differential equation. I don't mind the student to use some tools to do the integration because he already learned it and he knows the method and how this method get developed and so on, uh, to use it as a tool in another course. So this is where the beauty, I think, of technology and AI or whatever, or other machine available,
Yeah.
that, if you are in differential and a student solving a differential equation and he get the setting and he's reaching a point where he need to integrate and he already took the integration in a previous course, because when you reach to the integration it becomes just work, you just want to do it, you know I don't mind that the student use that tool to get what is the integral of that. But if I'm teaching integration as a first course, no, I have at the beginning to tell them where this idea is coming from, what's the concept, and so on.
And then can ask you about exams and examination in terms of how do you see that changing because of technology? Because now people could, if you're taking an online exam, it's really easy to cheat.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, during Corona, I made a joke. Here is another one. I said
Okay.
during Corona there were two type of student. Bad student, the one who get caught cheating online, and the good student, the one who did not get caught cheating on the exam. Everybody was cheating online. I know that, and we know that. Anyway, uh, I don't know. I think, I mean, we learn a lot from Corona and what's after Corona. Uh, I think, mm, I don't know how the technology will advance. Maybe the technology, because these things happen sudden during Corona, where we have to shut down, and we are not used to this kind of life, and maybe the technology we used at that time to do the exam was not well developed.
Hmm.
Maybe now they have more fancy and more, more sophisticated instrument that will not allow cheating or things like that. I really don't know, but I assume, if we're gonna continue on Corona, we are not gonna do the same. We're not gonna use the same instrument like the one we did. during Corona. I think we should improve it and make like, cheating almost impossible. And maybe some people already working on that. You know
Professor,
what I
I
mean?
don't, Professor, I don't think cheating will ever be eliminated. I think about cheating, like almost like the drug cartel. Drugs uh, are always going to be imported into different places.
Yes.
And no matter how many, if you stop, one pathway and the second pathway of getting the drugs from one place to the other, they're going to find another way to do it. They're always going to find a way to import the drugs. So I think same thing with cheating. It's the same concept. Well, someone is always going to find some sort of creative way
I
to
agree
cheat.
with you. Sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but
no,
what
no.
I meant, I agree with you 1 million or 100%. There is no way we can eliminate cheating, but we can make it more difficult. Even
Yes.
cheating inside the classroom, because we see sometimes student they use instrument we are not familiar with. Lately, I heard that some students use watch and
Oh,
like
Professor,
normal.
you're way behind. I mean, for watches, that was something they were doing 10 years ago. Now, I
Oh,
think they almost maybe are using hand signs or, some sort
I
of
don't know. I don't know. Well, I'm
yeah,
telling
I don't
you.
know, honestly.
So you don't have to be online to cheat.
Yeah.
It could happen inside the classroom in front of you, and you are not aware of what they're doing.
Yeah. Now, so when you ask kids to take exams as a professor, do you prefer them to take it in person? Like, do you require
Yeah,
that they
I
are in?
mean, for me, I like in person
Okay.
because, as I told you, I agree with you that you cannot eliminate cheating. You only
Yeah.
can make it more difficult.
Yeah.
There is, but elimination, I agree with you. And you know what I notice? I notice something. When you have trust in a student, like don't show them like you are guilty, I'm gonna punish you and all this, they cooperate with you and they try really to be more decent. But
Yeah.
if you become more aggressive with them, uh, like they try to challenge you. But if you try to work with them and you give them the trust,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it work 100%, but
Of
I
course.
noticed
Yeah.
they really realize that, and
Yeah.
they try to act more responsible.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think if you are open and honest with people, they'll want to work with you. And then if you're, a hard ass, it kind of turns people off and of course there,
It-
like you said, it's never 100%. There are going to people who are going to abuse your trust and
yes,
get over on you.
but I notice, and that's, I mean, in the classroom, when I am not very aggressive, like somebody when I use the bathroom, I tell them, okay, go ahead. And and I notice really that students understand that uh, I tell you to go, like I trust you.
Yeah.
And I am, and maybe I can tell you, maybe this method 90% work. You have to show that you trust your student and they are doing good job and but again, as you said, we cannot eliminate 100%. These things gonna happen all the time.
Yeah. There'll never be an environment when 100% of something
No,
works all the
no, no, no.
time.
I am not perfect. I never
Yeah.
ask for perfection
I,
because I am not.
Professor, I remember um, this is what scared me. This is something I always remember this story. This is what scared me to death about cheating. I remember I was in, I think like it was my freshman year of high school, and we had a history teacher who gave us an exam, and he was just a hard ass. and he caught some kid cheating, and he embarrassed the student in front of the whole class and told him to leave. And that stuck with me for the rest of my life. And I remember the kid
Yes.
profusely crying, like,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, what am I supposed to do? And that scared, have you heard that scared me straight to cheating.
No,
Um,
for me, when I see something unusual,
yeah,
like, what I try to do, I move student. I tell them just go and move to the front seat, or I put them, but I don't quickly accuse them of. It happens a few times,
yeah,
in the classroom. Like I see, I mean, I noticed something not right.
something fishy.
Yeah, so I just, I tell them, well, you are so close, like you are not cheating, like your seat is close to, you know, I just, move to the other. But no, no, nothing, like not come and give you a lesson and things like that.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it just ends up hurting the kid anyways. It's like they know if they cheated, and you know they're gonna think about it years down the line and say, "Well, I didn't really learn anything." Well, it's because you cheated on your exam.
Yeah. I don't know, Amir. I mean, these things, different people have different. Sorry, let me close that. Uh, the way I'm not saying I never claim that my method is the best method, but you ask Ayman Badawi and I answer you as how I do it.
Yeah.
Other people they think maybe differently. Maybe we have to use punishment so other will not do it. They can argue in that direction.
Hmm.
Uh, but they have their own. But for Ayman Badawi, no, I don't. I think this is wrong, and I don't do that.
Yeah. Professor, you said you studied in America. Can I ask you what was your experience like in America, and how long were you here for?
Well, America for me, I mean, I always tell my American friends, I mean, I'm not American. I don't have passport or a green card, but I am more American than most American. Just paperwork. Uh, uh, I mean, my character and the things I learned from USA, that's something I will never forget. And America was good for me. I built my own character, my philosophy in life. I get the chance to, as I told you, experience uh, different
Different
things,
cultures, yeah, different
different
cultures.
culture. And that's
Yeah.
something, in fact, America, sometimes I call it America, if you look at it in the way, is my idea of what I told you, the planet Earth. I
Yeah.
mean, you see the Chinese there, there's Chinatown. Chinese, they behave like Chinese, but they are in America. And the
Yeah.
Arab, they behave like Arab. They go to the mosque, they have their shopping, even some supermarket written in Arabic, but they are in America. So what I'm telling you about my ideas of planet Earth, one country, the best example is USA. USA, it's very much a small model of what I have in mind. I mean, you know what I mean. The
So the
Pakistani, I'm very sure you have Pakistani community, and they have the
yeah.
mosque, and they
Yeah.
have their tradition,
Yeah.
and they have their food, they have their
Yeah.
supermarket, but they live in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
You, you,
I,
you
I
know what I
I
mean?
see.
Does not mean being an American. That mean you have to be in the bar 24 hours.
Yeah. But it's funny how people do think that, American equals bar and getting drunk all the time.
This
But
is the,
I see America as just a giant experiment. That's all we are. We are just a giant experiment. And
just yeah. Just go back to the example to the things I told you earlier about how why I don't think of borders and planet Earth like one country. In fact, the best example is USA. USA has all these different cultures. And trust me, the Muslim behave like the Muslim who are here. They are still have their tradition and their whatever. They have their freedom to go to the mosque, to buy their food, the wedding. They just like Middle Eastern, but they live in America.
Yeah.
You get my point?
I do. I completely understand what you're saying. These little pockets that they've created of their own world, which
Yes,
or their culture that they brought over.
but they still live with it.
Yeah, yeah, and this to live with it, yeah, right?
Yes, they
Professor,
still, and nothing, by the way, nothing wrong with that.
there's
I
nothing
don't
wrong
say
with
it's
that. I
wrong.
agree. Yeah.
Nothing wrong. As long as you are not affecting other community. I mean, I always, everything is fine with me as long as you don't hurt other human. Like I cannot say Muslim, they are bad people or whatever. This is, I mean, well, there are
Do
some bad Muslim, but you cannot
yeah.
say that all Muslim are bad or all Christian are bad or yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that sometimes when people do bring over their culture from somewhere else, they sometimes become intolerant of the American culture and don't accept America, even though they're in America?
Well, I don't know. I cannot really. I don't see it that way. Maybe let's talk. I mean, they are living in America, right? And and America give them the freedom to practice their belief, and we cannot deny that there are many mosques in America, and they give the Muslim community freedom to go to the mosque, to pray, to have their own business, and so on. Uh, so your question, I'm not sure. Maybe within, and I don't know. I'm not inside them. Maybe they are very comfortable with this life. They don't want to try or you know
New
uh,
experiences, new
yeah.
cultures, accept, America, the American culture,
Well,
or
American
embrace
culture.
it, or embrace it. I feel like, and I asked you that question because I feel like there are people in America that come from all over the world to make a living here, but they're here just for the money, and
Oh
they don't accept the American tradition, which, and part of that is being tolerant to other people. And
no, this is in fact it could happen even within the same family. Not just that. You find a family, five brothers, one of them go to the mosque, one of them go to the bar, and one of them maybe brothers, right? And
yeah,
maybe in each one of the, I mean, like they are not in really, like they are not on the same level of thinking.
Y- you're explaining the relationship between my brother and me pretty much. Where he
Huh?
goes to the
You
mosque,
see?
I go to the bar.
Huh? You see, Amir? But at the end of the day, you are brothers, right?
Yeah,
And I'm very sure the things you do, he do other things that does not attract you, or you don't want to do it with him,
yeah, yeah,
right? Nothing
yeah.
wrong with that. But you are not fighting.
So I feel like, and I don't want to turn this into a therapy session, but I feel like I do my best to fit in, and do the practices that the family does. But I feel like I don't it's not reciprocal from the other end. Like they don't reciprocate the same thing. I'm not asking you to go to the bar with me per se, but I'm saying, just be a little more tolerant, as I am tolerant of your life and your being. And I feel like I
I,
see a
I,
lot of that here.
mhm. Yes, I agree. I agree with you, and this has to do with the, I think on the personal level, this is going to happen all the time, and I can see it in my family too. They think I am so liberal and so, for them. I'm not going to get into that, but
Yeah,
here
yeah,
is the thing: if you think, or the way I see it, you doing, you treat them as they should. I mean, like you respect them, you respect their belief. Uh, I don't feel bad about it. I feel bad for them for not accepting me the way I am. You know what I
yeah,
mean? If the, and if they don't see that, and they are not the one who trying to change the way how they view me, that's their problem. What can I do? But shall I change to so I fit? No, I will not do that, even if I stay alone,
right.
because you see things they don't see it. You know what I mean?
I
I
do.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very sure, Amir, even though it's a short meeting, this is our first meeting, uh, and it turns out it's not spam as I thought.
By the way, I see why you would think it was a spam because I looked back at my email that I wrote to you. It didn't make sense. Like there was spelling mistakes in there, and anyway. So I'm sorry about that.
No, no, because no, what surprised me is that not that, as I told you at the beginning. I said this guy is a YouTuber. Why he wanna bring why he wanna bring a mathematician? I mean, does not happen I mean, very often. You know what I mean? But anyway, let me continue what I was trying to tell you. It's a very short meeting with you, and the first time I see you, but I can see something. I'm very sure you do not regret the love and the things you give to your family, and you still respect them the way they are. And, maybe you are not getting the same love from them as you do to them. uh, that's their problem, is not your problem, and I don't think you should change. I'm not advising you. So they will, that's their problem, because you
Yeah,
are able to see things they are still are unable to see it.
yeah. That's the reality of it, and I've accepted that reality that I can't control. I'm not responsible, or I can't control what someone else is thinking or their emotions.
Yeah, I mean, here is the thing: you cannot, I mean, what, because you're gonna hurt their feeling. I mean, first they see you who you are, you respect them, you do what. I mean, these things are very hard, really, to talk about, or not because of the language. I cannot really explain it in any language. It just comes from inside,
Yeah, yeah.
from
There's
who you
have
are.
you Professor, have you ever heard the phrase um can't live with them, can't live without them?
We used to say
And
that on for women, right?
yeah.
This saying
Yeah,
is
yeah,
famous one about women. You cannot live with them, and you cannot leave. What? You cannot live with them, and you cannot leave them. I heard that when I was a student in USA, but this saying, it used to be for women, like, as a joke,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is familiar saying.
Professor,
So what?
do you pl sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you, do you plan on coming to the States ever again? Because if you do, we need to go to a bar and get a beer.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I will. In fact, I go to this. I mean, I was in the state in April,
Okay.
and before that, I was in the state in March.
Okay.
So I've been in the state like twice this year so far. And I have a wife who is working in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, definitely maybe on WhatsApp we exchange our numbers, and maybe if I have a flight through New York, so I maybe I delay my flight one day because I think in New Jersey and New York we can easily connect.
Yeah, Professor, do not fly to Newark. I'm advising everybody to not fly out of Newark, do not fly to Newark because they've had multiple blackouts. I don't know if you've heard, they've had two already 90-second blackouts where their radar system just completely went black. And that's very dangerous because you're talking about thousands of people on airplanes and you
Oh,
can't track them anymore.
I see.
And it's
So that mean you are telling me you don't want to meet me?
no, I'm saying fly to JFK or LaGuardia.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
I'm just
figure yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I know you are. I know you are.
Yeah.
Um
No, yeah, yeah. I know this. We'll find a way.
yeah, we will.
Maybe.
If I got your email and I found your YouTube channel, I'm sure we could find a way.
Okay, definitely after this, I will send you by email my WhatsApp
Okay.
number. Just
Okay.
keep it. We can at
Yeah.
least sometimes say hi to each other
Sure. I think
because
I've already got to know you better than your neighbors.
definitely. And that's the thing. I'm not kidding, Amir. In fact, I'm not good in names. I don't know their names. I just say hi, hello, how are you? But hey, look at it. We live in a very peaceful, uh, life. They have their own life. I have my own life. So what? This is. I mean. By the way, I live on campus at
Okay.
the American University of Sharjah, and maybe you should, if you ever come to United Arab Emirates, you are welcome to visit AUS, American
AUS.
University of Sharjah. And I only, because my wife is working in Columbus, I'm only staying with my daughter. We have one empty room, so you don't have to pay for rent. You are welcome to stay with me
The
because
hospitality is so nice of you. Thank you.
no, because I like you.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to stay, if you want to come over here, you could this couch over here.
Oh, I
It
love it. I love.
expands.
Okay,
It
wonderful.
it ex it expands. Okay, you could. I'm not kidding. This thing you could tear. This is American capitalism and competitiveness and consumerism. Like I could tear this sofa and turn it into a table if I wanted to. It's a love
Yeah, I
sack.
know. I
You could
know.
actually do that, which is amazing. And
Yeah.
suckers like me and my wife, we fell for it.
So you have any kids, Amir?
No, I don't have any kids. I want to have a lot of kids. My wife and I, we want to have a lot of kids, and she'll joke with me
Come
like,
on.
okay,
Come on,
like
Ranim.
it's
You want
it's
to
it's
meet? Oh,
it's
sorry.
time.
Go ahead.
Sure. No, no,
Here is my
I want
daughter.
to.
Say hi to Amir.
Hi, Raneem. My sister's name is Rima. So
Rima?
Rima, Reema.
Oh,
So
so,
Raneem and Rima. So I'll remember that. That's easy. That's an easy name to remember.
oh, that's it. He remember your name. Yeah. Say hi to him. So
Professor,
how
it was
many kids? How many kids you have you in mind?
I want 7 kids. I want a whole basketball team. And so but I think that may be out of the equation. So I don't
But
know.
I don't know,
We're
Amir. I'm
we're
not.
meeting in the middle.
Life is expensive these days.
Gosh,
having.
that's exactly the problem. Life is expensive, and it's sad to think about because kids are a lot of responsibility, and they require a lot of energy and a lot of time.
Mm.
And it's sad because we have to now think about like put uh money and monetize our not monetize our kids, but like we have to think about money when it comes to having kids. Where I think maybe in your day, like that wasn't a thing. Like if you wanted to have a kid,
Oh, because in
you
in my days there is no difference between rich and poor. When I grow up, I mean, whether you have a lot of money or you don't have much money, all of us were the same, going to the, play the same game. We don't have mobiles, we don't have options. They were like what boys do in the old days. We go to the field to play soccer,
yeah,
or we call it football, but American they call it
we call it
soccer.
soccer, right?
Yeah. And I heard soccer is more popular among female in USA than male. Maybe that's changing now. But at the beginning, soccer was more popular among female in USA.
Yeah,
Anyway, so these are things that available and it costs you nothing. Just go and play soccer or
yeah,
basketball or volleyball.
yeah,
We don't have like what the kids now have, mobile, and their friend they have the new version, and you know what I mean.
yeah.
You
It's
wanna.
I think it's the American way of thinking, and I struggle with that sometimes because I want to get out of that mindset that and accept that I am not going to be able to give my kid or kids the perfect life. That doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a perfect parent or a perfect life. They're gonna have to go through their own struggles in life, no matter how much opportunity that my wife and I have given them. Um, and so I joke with my wife, like, why don't we just have a bunch of kids here? We have a small space. It's just, a bedroom upstairs and the living room. And then we're like, let's just have all the kids here and they could run up and down because
No, in fact.
I grew up because I have family members who grew up in a one bedroom apartment. There was like seven of them or eight of them all
Wow.
in one room.
No, I did not experience that. I grew up only with my sister because uh, uh, oh, sorry. Sorry about that. uh, I have other brothers, but my second youngest brother, the difference in age is 9 years. So I never really live with my brothers. I know they are my brothers and we meet on on occasion, you know, but I never really claim that I live or I grow up with any of my brothers. I only have a sister who is 1 year older than me, and she live in Abu Dhabi here in United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
That's the only person in the family that I grow up with. All my brothers just, they were out of the house when I was growing up.
Can I ask you, like, did you ever notice how protective older sisters are, older siblings are, especially females of their younger brothers? Because my sister is such a warrior in my life. I remember anytime some kids wanted to pick a fight with me, she was she was like, "Hey, don't mess with my brother. I'm gonna mess you up." She would get into fights for me.
Yes, and yeah, that protection, you mean.
Yeah, the
Yes,
protection, right?
that's always there. Yes, I mean, like me and my sister, we have like different relation than me and my other brothers because we grow up together and
Yeah,
like we understand each other more than my other brothers.
yeah.
Amir, we've been talking 1 hour, 45 minutes.
I didn't even notice that. I'm looking at the time now.
Well, that's the
Wow.
thing. And yeah, it seems like we really get along.
Yeah. Well, Professor, that's the other thing. Like I just I'm a they say in America you have the gift of the gab. You could just talk, and I think I have a little bit of that where I could just yap forever.
Yeah.
But I really want to say thank you for coming on. This was a lot of fun for me, and uh, I hope the audience when I post this, see that.
By the, by the way, when you post it, send me the link
Sure,
because I
we'll do.
have my personal webpage and I would like to post that interview or that
Yeah,
talk with you on my
sure.
personal webpage.
I've seen your personal webpage, and I've wrote down a few things from your personal webpage, um and I saw your resume, and it was the longest resume I've ever seen in my life.
Ah.
It's a pretty long resume, okay? Um, I was making adjustments to my resume the other day, and I'm like, I want it to be short, sweet, one page, and that's it. So I was just laughing when I saw your resume because it was like 4, 5 pages.
Well, but I mean, look at it. I am in this business since 1994.
Yeah, you do have a long career.
And also I mention everything. I mean, maybe I can, outline it into one page. I mean, the most crucial thing. But I mention everything, the conferences I attend, all the event, all the professional event in my life is on the CV.
Yeah, and I something that stuck out to me in your on your website, you have a section where it's just your personal thoughts and in quotes. And hey, can I read one of the quotes?
Sure, sure.
Uh, Recently, I read the best fictional book ever. If you are a big fan of fictional stories or books, I I highly recommend Human Rights, which is free of charge at Human Rights United
Nation.
Nations, not
And I gave you
nations.
the link.
And you gave the link, and I
Yeah,
thought that was
because
there's a lot of sarcasm obviously there.
yeah, because that quote, I think it was during the massacre and what's going on in Gaza and the human, as I told you from the beginning, maybe some people at the beginning, they thought I am pro Hamas and like I have to explain I'm not pro Hamas. I'm just, like, I think, and nothing as I told you earlier, uh, now we are not talking about Hamas or
Right? We're
Netanyahu
talking
or
about
whatever.
innocent people.
Exactly. I mean, this is what kills me. I mean,
Yeah.
we talk about the human right and whatever, and that's in fact, sometime a quote related to event. Like if you are in a romantic and relation, definitely you will have a different different quote or different things. But that quote was during this, what's going on at home and all these innocent people and that killing is still on. In fact, lately I start watching the news only maybe twice just to know what's going on because it's not a secret. I mean, it has a big effect on my life is to see all these, innocent people just dying and
And
nobody.
Professor, you know what's even more interesting, is that I think people need to understand like this doesn't just happen in a vacuum. The ripple effects of this is that now kids that are dying and people that are dying, in the Middle East, they're gonna grow up to hate people, people like in America, you know, the whoever it may be,
That's
they
that's the
they're
side
gonna
effect.
And
The side
it's not
effect.
just it's not just in a vacuum. Like these kids are going to grow up to hate you, and they're gonna grow up to hate you because they're gonna be like, oh well, you supported this war, and look at these bombs. It says USA on it. It says Raytheon on it. It says Lockheed, whoever it may be, and so
Uh,
and
uh,
you said something about Netanyahu, Professor. You may be a little nicer to him, but I don't like him and I don't trust him. And I've been saying this for years. This man has
well,
had
and who
30
likes him?
years. This guy has had 30 years to bring peace and prosperity there, and he's done none of that.
In
He's
fact,
made it more
since
worse.
in fact, since you mentioned Netanyahu as a person, I mean, it's clearly we're not going to talk about the damage he did to the Palestinian, but in my opinion, I can tell you that he damaged the reputation of Israel as well.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, he
Mm.
not just I mean, I think the repute. I mean, we did not, as Palestinian, damage the reputation of Israel as much as he did for Israel.
Yeah.
And that's what some people don't realize, that he is the one who is damaging the reputation of Israel.
Yeah. I don't trust him. I never liked him. And part of that is because just look at the history. Look at what he stands for the past 30 years. He's had all this time to bring people together, and he's done the opposite of that. And I think that speaks to a man's character, speaks to um, their agenda. So
I think he's doing it all for personal because
to stay in power.
yes.
Hmm.
I mean, this
Well,
is a big story, Amir. We're not going to get to it, but this
yeah,
person, I think, well, here is the thing, as you mentioned about America, and when these kids grow up and they start thinking that their parents died because of American bomb and things, and maybe it's going to take them time to realize, like the level you and me we reach to it, that not the American people.
yeah,
There is a difference between
yes,
people and government and politician.
yeah,
Not the American people who made these bomb and they throw them on Gaza. And
yeah,
that's gonna take them time before realizing that.
yeah.
Unfortunately, it's gonna be, well, I don't know. I always, sorry, I mean, because I want to emphasize that always in my life, I deal with people on personal level. I don't attach people to politics because sometimes you will see that these people are completely different from, they have views, maybe they are exactly similar like mine or like yours. It happens only they are from that place.
Well, Professor, on that note, all we could do is pray for those people and hope that this ends soon. Um, and I think we could end it there.
Thank you, Amir. It was pleasure talking to you, and it was good seeing you, and I hope we stay in touch.